Hi, I've got a problem with ear protection, and I want to talk to you guys about it. So being a musician and overall music lover, I've been to a fair few shows in my time, and one thing I remember from a very young age is being told, "You've got to protect your ears, you'll thank me when you're older." And to be honest, I actually do thank them, because I'm leaving gigs now with perfectly fine hearing, where other friends of mine are leaving gigs going, "Yeah, that was really cool! I had a great time!" What? But today specifically, there's kind of one brand in particular I want to talk about that seems to be everywhere, and I just want to talk about my personal experience with them, with that company being Loop. Loop was founded in 2016, and since then I've seen them pop up all over my social media, Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Anytime any of their adverts pop up, I know I'm probably going to see them for the next week. Because when they pop up, my God, they are everywhere. Every advert, every commercial, every pop-up possible. But how are they? I was first introduced to Loop by a friend of mine, I'd say last year, maybe a little bit longer. And he was showing me the Loop Switch. Now, the Loop Switch was a 3-in-1. It was a mix of all of their products in one useful, handy tool. These main three product modes are Engage, Experience, and Quiet. When I had originally tried the Loop Switch, I noticed a significant difference between all three settings, and it made me go, this is really cool. Because never before had I seen an earplug, or as you've seen in person, an earplug that I could put in and change the settings as I go about my day. Now it's going to be a little bit awkward to replicate the sounds in this video, but I want to try and do my best to replicate how I felt these products came across. With the Switch 1, I saw a noticeable difference between the Engage mode and the Quiet mode. It was like when you have those earpieces that are noise cancelling but also have that feature in them that helps you hear what's around you still. Like say if someone's talking to you, you can hear them. With the first mode, it meant that you could still hear most of the things around you. Not everything, but it really dulled down the overall environmental sound, which was really helpful, especially as a lot of people these days seem to get overstimulated through large crowds or public transport. And then with the second mode, the Experience mode, the best way I could describe it is imagine you're listening to something through a tube, and as you're listening through the tube, you get your hand and you just put your hand over half of it. It's a little more muffled, and that was a really nice thing going, oh okay, I can notice the difference between mode 1 and mode 2. Then mode 3, you get a very closed off sound, which sounds like when you put your fingers in your ears, you hear the silence. Now, anyone with sensitive ears, you'll know what I mean when you hear the silence. It's like when you're in a room and no one's talking and you're there like, I need to say something, it's too quiet. That as a product made me think, okay, these are really, really cool. I want to try these. The initial product that I went to look for online wasn't there. It was the newer version. It's known as the Loop Switch 2. And it's quite cool because they come in this nice little handy dandy case. And I won't lie, they look pretty sleek. Compared to the first versions, these new ones look a lot smaller, a lot more unique. And overall, you get a nicer fit when it sits in your ear. However, I encountered an issue. My issue with Loop, or the Loop Switch 2s, I should say, is I didn't get the experience that I had when I tried a friend's pair of the Loop Switch 1s. With the Loop Switch 2s, I found no significant difference in any of the three modes. Now, something that I should say is my partner, before me, bought a pair of loops. She bought the regular sleep versions, which are mainly for the quiet mode. So according to their website, it blocks out a total of 26 decibels, and she needed to sleep during the day. So these were a real help to her. And that gave me that little bit of extra push to just buy my own pair. Now, I had a really, really good chance recently to really put these new Loop earbuds, ear plugs to the test. I recently went to go and see Guns N' Roses in the UK at Aston Villa Park, and being a big stadium and one of the largest rock bands of all time, what better excuse? For this experiment, I took 3 earbuds with me. 3 different types, 3 different styles, and 3 different brands. The first one being the Loop Switch 2s. The second thing I took with me were these. These are a brand called Ear Peace, and they are a high fidelity concert earbud. And the final thing I took with me were these Stagg in-ear monitors. These are the SPM 435s. Between these 3 products, I spent different sections of the show swapping them out and testing. So with the Loops, I had them in for probably like the first half, and as I was going through each song, I was flicking between the quiet mode, the engage mode, and the experience mode. I feel really bad saying this, but I don't because I'm not sponsored, so it's fine. I didn't see a difference. Didn't see any difference at all. It all felt the same, and all I could really hear was the sound of me twisting the earbud in my ear, which, you know, you kind of get this awkward sound. Yeah, this. I really hope this comes up on camera, otherwise this whole bit is really redundant. In terms of sound and experience, throughout the entire gig, I didn't find much difference from Loop. However, if you do go online, they say that their 3 modes give you 3 different experiences. That being the engage mode, which dampens sound by 20 decibels, the experience mode, which dampens sound by 23 decibels, and the quiet mode, which dampens it by 26. This really didn't make a difference to me, and it was kind of upsetting that you paid money for a product, and I mean, it works, it's a pair of earplugs, but it doesn't feel like anything special. It feels just as normal as getting some phone tips, putting them in your ears, and leaving that. The whole gimmick of the 3 different styles doesn't seem to come across in these newer issue models. I'd recommend, if you're going to buy them, stick to the individual products, because at least then you'll get something a little more tailored to what you're looking for. The concert earplugs by Ear Peace do also come with 3 different modes, and instead of a switch, these come with these 3 little tiny pins that go from dampening sound by 17 decibels, 20 decibels, and 26. So just like the Loops, we're getting a dampener on 20 and 26 decibels. However, we do get an even lighter one with 17. I think that's really nice to just have the option to have, you know, that little bit extra, or less, I should say, in terms of noise reduction. But we're still keeping on theme with the 20 and 26 decibels. With the Stagg in-ear monitors though, according to online, there is a sensitivity of 108 decibels and a frequency range of 10 Hz. Now, from what I can see, where it says about sensitivity, it kind of means the same in the sense of it does reduce the sound by up to 108 decibels, but more so what it's trying to say is you won't get any outside bleed under the 100 decibel mark in your in-ear monitors. These monitors are a direct way for you to hear in your ears what's happening on stage or what's happening on your computer or whatever you're playing through, and it won't cancel out all the noise around you, but all the noise around you would have to be pretty damn loud to get through what you're hearing. Now, to try and keep this video short, I'm not going to ramble on, but I'm just going to say this. All 3 products are useful in their own ways. With the Stagg in-ear monitors, they are really, really useful for stage musicians, for anyone playing in a group or playing in a band or doing any kind of live performances, because it protects your ears and you get a direct signal from whatever's happening on stage, whatever's happening in front of house. It's a really safe and these days affordable piece of gear that you should have, especially if doing any form of live music. If you haven't seen my video with ACS Custom, I'll link that down in the description. The Loop earplugs I think are really good, but I would personally recommend that you get an individual earplug for what you want them for. The Switch 2 just wasn't it for me, and I know they have multiple products on their website. I would definitely recommend giving them a go, as they are an affordable earpiece. However, that being said, the best product in this video to me personally are the Ear Peace earplugs. As it stands, they're the most affordable thing between these 3 items in this video, and for what you get from them, you get long exposure time, you have an easy and quick installation and swap out from the different decibel meters. The fact that you can get them on Amazon these days, I mean, you can order them and they'll turn up next day. You can get them pretty damn quickly. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. As I said, hearing protection is really important to me, and hope that everybody that has watched this has liked this video. And if you have any questions or comments about it, by all means let me know down below. I love reading every single comment, whether that's agreeing with me, disagreeing with me, giving me new information. I'm just kind of doing this for fun and giving people an honest review of what I think of things, and I think that's what we really need sometimes. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one.